Hello children, today we are going to see a grammar video which is nothing but add ing and add ed. We have to add ing or ed to certain words. We have to always add that at the last. So adding the word ed means it is happened in the past. So we have three tenses, isn't it? Past tense. So whatever that is happened yesterday, we call it as past tense. Whatever is going to happen today, we call it as present tense. Whatever that is going to happen tomorrow, we call it as future tense. So when we add the word ed, which means that it is past tense. When you're going to add ing, which means that it is present tense, at this moment, what you're going to do, what you are doing now. In that case, we have to add ing. Now, in this video, we'll see where you have to add these two words. Now, let's get into the video. Yes, so as I told you earlier, today we are going to see about how to add ing or ed. Remember one thing, ed we have to add it for the past, whichever that happened yesterday. In that case, we have to add ed and we have to pronounce the word, okay? Ing means the thing which you are doing it at the present, so present continuous. In that case, we have to use the ing form. So this will be for present and this will be for past. Okay, so now in this topic, what we are going to do, we are going to add these two things, that is ing or ed. But before adding that, we need to do one special case. That is nothing but when we add ing or ed, we sometimes double the last letter. You have a word. In that word, we have a last word, okay? So what you have to do, you have to repeat that last word once again and then you have to add ing as well as ed. So when you add ing, it will be in a present continuous tense. When you're going to add ed to the same word, it will be a past tense. So what you have to repeat the last letter in a given word, repeat the last letter one more time and then we have to add ing or ed. So this is the first condition. And the second condition, in which case you have to repeat the last letter. That is very important. So first condition, we saw that we are supposed to repeat the last letter. The second condition, we need to know in which case you have to repeat the last letter. So you have a clue or hint for that, okay? So we do this when the second to the last letter of the word is vowel, okay? So you all knew what is in vowel, isn't it? A, E, I, O, U. So we have a last letter. So last before letter should be a vowel. If it is a vowel, then what you have to do? Double the last letter, then add ing or ed. So this is the condition. Now we will see some example for this. Okay, so now we are going to see some exercise part. Add ing and ed to these words. Okay, so they'll give you a words. So what you're supposed to do, we need to add ing and ed. I already told you that ing means which is happening in the present. Okay, ed means which already happened, which means it is in the past. Your first word is drop. Here, now what you have to do, according to the condition, your last letter is P, isn't it? So you have to check the before letter. What is the before letter here? O. So O is in vowel, isn't it? If it is going to be a vowel, then what you have to do, repeat the last letter. Can you see? We have this word. The before letter is a vowel. If it is a vowel, what you have to do, repeat the last letter and you have to add ing. So which becomes dropping. So drop is given in the question. The second letter is a vowel. So what if it is vowel? I'm going to repeat this last letter and I'm going to add ing. So which means it becomes as dropping, which is a present continuous tense. And the next, we have to add ed. In this case also, your last second letter, which is nothing but O. O is a vowel. If it is going to be a vowel, what we have to do? We need to repeat the last letter. So last letter, I'm going to repeat it. I'm repeating this P and then I'm going to add ed. So which means it becomes dropped. So this is your question. I'm repeating the P once again and I'm adding ed, which means it becomes dropped, which is a past tense, which means it already happened yesterday. Now look into the second word, skip. So what is my first condition? What should I do? What you have to do? The last letter, the last before letter I have to check, which is I. I is a vowel. If it is going to be a vowel, what you have to do? You need to repeat the last letter and you're supposed to add ing. Okay, so which means it becomes, when you're going to join all these three set of letters together, it becomes skipping. And next, the same thing. I'm checking the second letter from last. It is I. I is a vowel. If it is going to be a vowel, you need to repeat the last letter once and then add ed, which means it becomes skipped. Okay, so when they ask you an exercise, you have to do it in the same way. First, check your last letter, last before letter. If it is going to be a vowel, repeat the last letter once and separately add ing in one set and add ed in other set. So that's all about this topic of adding ing and ed. So always remember, children, your last before letter. Okay, check your last before letter. That is the second letter from the last. If it is vowel, what you have to do? Repeat the last letter once, add ing separately and add ed separately. See you in the next video. Thank you, children.